Okay, by popular request, we're going to look over how to manually maneuver the spacecraft. First thing is the ball. Your role is indicated by this black triangle here, which we could see just moved. At the top, you have 0 degrees. The bottom, you have 180. Left is 90. Right is 270. If we call verb 16 noun 20 right now, we can see roll is a little bit greater than 180. So on the right, we've got our greater than 180 numbers. When you're in CMC Auto, the spacecraft functions like rate command. When not auto maneuvering, you can use your 4 and 6 number keys, 8 to pitch down, 2 to pitch up, 1 to pitch left, and 3 to pitch, 1 to yaw left, 3 to yaw right, 4 to roll left, and 6 to roll right. When you let go, notice how, there we go, the computer takes some time and brings you to a stop. When you enter CMC hold, the behavior is much the same. However, when you're in CMC free, notice how when you move, the spacecraft does not come to a stop. You have to take everything you learn about airplanes and forget it, because in space, it's completely different. And you can keep accelerating, like so, and keep accelerating forever, and get faster and faster and faster and faster. When you come back to CMC hold, the computer will bring you to a stop. Now we'll cover maneuvering on SCS. So, spacecraft control to SCS. This is your backup system. Notice on rate 2, we have a similar function to attitude hold. However, it doesn't bring it back to the perfect holding position. It doesn't bring us back to 0 on any of the axes. We can see none of them bring us back to 0. So how do we zero out then? BMAGs down here, body mounted attitude gyro. When you incorporate the attitude on BMAG 1 and the rate on BMAG 2, you're able to bring yourself to a stop. And we can do this for each axis, one at a time. But how do we maneuver like CMC free on SCS? Well, it's very simple. Take manual attitude to roll command. Again, this can be achieved on one axis at a time. You may pitch, but keep yaw as rate command. And now when I let go of pitch, I will continuously maneuver with the set rate that I had. Note, when I take it back to rate command, it functions the same again. Rate 1 is just using the first attitude gyro. It behaves the same. Going to minimum impulse allows you to make one RCS puff at a time, no matter if you hold down any of the keys. Here, I'm pressing and holding the 1 key, but I only put in 1 yaw left. Roll notice how it's slightly more responsive. If you disable one of the quads, one of the roll, now we can get much more fine-tuned maneuvering out of roll. This is because the roll have two sections for roll capability, whereas pitch and yaw only have one segment. Set back, we can see much more responsive. We go like that, and we can fine-tune it back to 0. To translate the spacecraft, trans control power needs to be on, and the mode needs to be set to translate. The 6 key will translate forward. The 9 key will translate backwards. The 2 key up. The 8 key down. The 1 key left. And the 3 key right. When limit cycle is on, this changes the behavior of the BMEGs when one BMEG is cut off. This is normally for PTC and sleeping. When rate is high, you're able to rate commands to a much faster
rotation,
a much faster speed. Let's try it. Give us some roll, and we can see we're able to stop all the way on 2 marks of 50-15, or 50 degrees every 15 tick. Every 5 ticks is 5 degrees, so here we have maxed out, and every 5 ticks is 1 degree. So here we can see we are much faster, and when we let go, again, it brings us to a stop almost. However, notice it's significantly faster than on rate low. Rate high, rate low. Now take a look at this. When we go attitude deadband max, and on attitude 1 rate 2, check out how far we can maneuver away from a set attitude before it brings us in. Whereas, when you go to minimum, notice how the spacecraft automatically brings itself back to exactly where the attitude was when you flip these switches. RCS Direct directly ties the rotational controllers to the main bus's RCS. This is good for if the normal power is ever cut, you are still capable of moving the spacecraft. And I believe that is everything. Yes, here's one more thing to cover. Rate low, rate high, attitude deadband minimum, maximum, and the manual rate. Notice the fuel consumption, as well as the deadband and the speed you are able to move. This chart describes how these two switch configurations affect the fuel usage and the speed, as well as the deadband of your attitude. You are also able to manually set the needles to point into a manual attitude for whichever you're targeting. Let's say we want to target roll 180 and pitch 310, and yaw 0. Now we know how to maneuver to exactly this attitude. As you can see, once set to GDC, you're using the backup system, the backup for the IMU, and CMC will use computer angles. Okay, and that's everything. I'll need to reload the save now as I've expended plenty of RCS gas and also translated without monitoring the state vector with the translation of program 47. So I will have to reload the save. And thank you for watching.